If you're trying to get into weddings, this video is for you. I'm gonna give you a few tips on how to shoot your first wedding. So let's go. Hi, I'm Clay Souza. I'm a wedding portrait photographer in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. And I'm gonna give you some tips on how to start getting your first wedding. Well, before I go into the tips, I need to make some assumptions, and one of them is that you already know how to photograph. You've been shooting for a while now. You know how to quickly and efficiently move within your camera. And when I say efficiently, what I'm talking about is you're not looking at the camera and saying, oh, aperture, how do I change this? Oh, shutter speed. You can't do that on a wedding day because weddings are fast moving, and every time you put your camera down to look at it, you're missing moments, and these moments are not going to come back. So the assumption here is that you already know how to use a camera efficiently. If not, try to do some more shoots, some maybe paid clients, or maybe a styled shoot where you can practice more moving within your camera. Okay, so one of the things that's really hard for people to get into weddings is how I'm going to shoot my first wedding. I mean, you don't have a portfolio with weddings in it. Nobody gives you a chance, and every photographer tells, oh, just second shoot a wedding. Well, really, who is going to give you a chance to second shoot a wedding when you have never shot one, when you don't have that in your portfolio? And I think the first advice that I can give you is this: start as a lighting assistant. Be the lighting assistant for a wedding photographer. Then you're going to watch and learn, watch and ask questions at the end. I bet it's the best way to get in. As a wedding photographer myself, I bring a lot of people who follow me who want to get into weddings, and I bring them to be my lighting assistant. And I have people who have been my lighting assistant for over a year now that I can't get them to assist me anymore because they're already shooting weddings. But they did their homework, they kept on it, they kept coming to every wedding that I shot in 1 year and learning and asking the right questions, and then they got confidence to shoot a wedding. But another thing that you should do when you book, if you book your first wedding, one of the things that you should do, you should be sure that you get a timeline. Timeline is a list of events and which events are on a wedding day and what time they're going to happen. A timeline is important for you because you need to know where you're going to be next. Weddings is all about being prepared. Key to successful weddings is to be prepared. Always prepared to what's happening next, so you don't get yourself into a pinch. Another tip that I give you: shoot in RAW. Don't shoot JPEG. If you shoot weddings, shoot in RAW. RAW is going to give you more latitude when you edit your image. So dynamic range are going to be bigger, and at the end, the final result is always better. So another tip is make sure you have 2 cameras. I bring 2 cameras to every single wedding, and I have one with a short lens, sometimes most of the time a 24-70, and another camera with a 70-200 to make it easy to switch to one camera and another. Sometimes you have to make the switch faster. By the time you go back, grab the other lens, change it, you're gonna miss moments. Also, on the same theme of having 2, make sure your camera has dual cards and you record raw files on both cards. One works as a backup to the other one. I've never shot a wedding with a single card camera because cards fail, and they will fail on you at some point. If you don't have that backup, you're running a huge risk. Okay, and the last tip that I'm going to give you here, when you shoot weddings, ask the bride for a shot list. A shot list are the images, are the group image that the bride wants. When you get to the point where you're shooting the formals, bridal party and family, you always want to have their shot list because you need to be aware of how much time you have to shoot and how many people you have to photograph, right? And you don't want to miss anybody that's important. Myself, I ask every single bride of mine to give me a short list with the must have images. Give me your must have image, the ones that you can't live without it. And those are the ones I'm going to focus when the formal time comes. If I'm missing something, let's say if she wants a family member, but the family member is not there at the time, we're going to do those during the reception. I always keep myself open to the bride, open to the groom, and to the guests. And I always say, if you need some pictures during the reception, just grab me or grab my second shooter, and we're glad to do an image for you. Okay, so as you can see, wedding photography is all about preparations, all about being ready for those moments, because these moments don't come back anymore. Weddings are this unique thing that there's no do-over, right? You can't just reshoot the wedding. It gets complicated, and it's a time where you need to be on the top of everything, and you need to be precise, you need to be fast, you need to know what you're doing. But I'm sure if you go through those points that I listed here, will help you on your first wedding. I hope you have liked this video, and if you did like it, consider subscribing to our channel, because I'm here every day posting videos about photography. Most of the time I'm talking about lighting, composition, and posing, sometimes business of photography and other topics like the one that you just watched. We also, every Monday and Wednesday at 8:08 p.m. Eastern Time, we go live to talk about photography. I would really appreciate if you guys could follow us, hit that bell button there so you get notified every time, and I hope to see you one of our lives.